Have you ever ignored a small itch, thinking it was nothing? For seniors over 60, that tiny itch might be the body's quiet cry for help. In today's story, you'll discover how one seemingly harmless spot revealed a life-saving truth. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more valuable health stories. And if this video touches you, please give it a like and share it with someone you care about, because a simple share might just save a life. Now let's begin with a story that every older adult should hear. When Mrs. Thompson first noticed the small, persistent itch on the side of her neck, she attributed it to nothing more than dry skin. After all, at age 65, she had experienced her fair share of minor irritations and dismissed them with an application of moisturizer or a dab of over-the-counter lotion. Yet this time, the sensation refused to fade. It lingered, transforming from a mild annoyance into a nightly torment that disrupted her rest and left her anxious. As the days turned into weeks, the itch grew more insistent, and what had begun as a simple discomfort became the catalyst for one of the most important conversations she would ever have. In quiet consultation rooms lit by soft afternoon light, Dr. Patel had counseled countless seniors on the subtle signs of aging and the small ailments that accompany the passing years. He prided himself on a calm, reassuring manner that encouraged his patients to speak openly, to share even the most trivial concerns without fear of seeming foolish. When Mrs. Thompson described her persistent itch, he listened attentively, noting the location and duration. Beneath his gentle demeanor lay decades of research and practice, knowledge that guided him to probe deeper. One afternoon, as the sun cast a warm glow through the window blinds, Dr. Patel explained that sometimes an itch could be much more than a superficial irritation. In seniors, particularly those over 60, an unexplained, persistent itch in one spot could be an early indicator of underlying skin changes. Changes that in rare but serious cases could signal skin cancer. His voice was measured and empathetic, acknowledging the anxiety such information might stir. He assured Mrs. Thompson that most itches were benign, but he stressed the importance of vigilance and early detection. Mrs. Thompson left the clinic that day with a mixture of relief and worry. She resolved to monitor her neck closely, examining it under bright bathroom lights each evening. She found herself recalling the gentle way Dr. Patel had emphasized respect for her own body's signals and the empowerment that came from informed self-care. She realized that her lifelong habit of ignoring minor discomforts needed to change. Her independence, which she valued so deeply, depended on her ability to recognize early warning signs and seek timely medical advice. Over the next few days, she noticed that the skin around the itchy spot had become slightly raised, and a faint reddish hue marked its outline. No pain accompanied it, just the relentless urge to scratch. That urge disturbed her sleep and unsettled her thoughts. She shared her concerns with her neighbor, Mr. Jenkins, a retired school teacher known for his library of medical journals and encyclopedias. His kind eyes betrayed his concern as he recommended a detailed checklist of changes to watch for: alteration in color, a shift in texture, any bleeding or flaking. His advice echoed the words of Dr. Patel, reinforcing the notion that seniors must trust the wisdom of their own bodies. The following week, Mrs. Thompson returned to the clinic for a thorough skin examination. Dr. Patel's gentle hands probed the area, noting the border irregularity and the slight asymmetry that had developed. He explained that while many skin irregularities in older adults were harmless, the capacity for malignant transformation increased with age. He described, in plain terms, the biology of skin cells and how, over time, damage from ultraviolet radiation and genetic predisposition could cause a rogue cell to grow unchecked. His calm narrative was both scientific and compassionate, transforming a sterile medical explanation into a relatable story of resilience and the importance of early detection. He recommended a biopsy to determine the nature of the lesion. The word felt heavy in the quiet of the examination room, but Dr. Patel reassured her that the procedure was quick and relatively painless. He spoke of the many patients whose lives had been saved by swift intervention. His stories of people just like her, retirees who had brushed aside minor symptoms only to face more severe health crises, resonated deeply. She felt gratitude for his frankness and clarity. On the day of the biopsy, Mrs. Thompson arrived with her daughter Emily, who had flown in from another state upon hearing her mother's concerns. Emily's presence was a balm to her mother's nerves. As Dr. Patel prepared the small instruments, he spoke softly to both of them, explaining each step: the local anesthesia, the careful removal of a tiny skin sample, the gentle bandaging afterward. His words were a steady thread of reassurance. When the procedure concluded, he invited them back in a few days for the results. During the anxious wait, Mrs. Thompson found herself reflecting on how often she had neglected her own health. She recalled the years she spent caring for others, her children, her grandchildren, and her friends, always placing her own needs last. She realized that self-care was not a selfish luxury, but a necessary act of preservation. Her nightly routine now included gentle moisturization and mindfulness, as she attended respectfully to her body's messages rather than dismissing them. 3 days later, she returned to the clinic, heart pounding. Dr. Patel's expression was calm but serious. He explained that the biopsy had identified early-stage basal cell carcinoma, the most common form of skin cancer in seniors. The news felt surreal. He described basal cell carcinoma as a slow-growing malignancy that seldom spreads to other parts of the body but could cause local tissue damage if left untreated. Thankfully, because they had caught it at an early stage, removal would be straightforward and highly effective. Mrs. Thompson listened intently, absorbing every word. Dr. Patel recommended a minor surgical procedure called Mohs micrographic surgery, which would remove the lesion layer by layer, examining each in real time under a microscope. This method would ensure complete removal while preserving as much healthy tissue as possible. He emphasized the high success rate and minimal scarring, highlighting that her independence and quality of life would remain intact. The day of her surgery, she arrived early, accompanied by Emily once more. The procedure took under 2 hours, and she was home by mid-afternoon. Dr. Patel visited post-operation, reviewing the success of the removal and outlining her aftercare: gentle cleansing, protective ointment, and regular follow-up visits. He spoke of skin health as an ongoing partnership between patient and physician, one built on mutual respect and shared vigilance. In the weeks that followed, Mrs. Thompson's surgical site healed beautifully. She noticed the faint scar, but felt pride rather than sorrow, a testament to her proactive choice. Her sleep was no longer punctuated by scratching, and she felt a renewed sense of agency over her health. She adopted a routine of monthly self-examinations, documenting any new changes in a journal. She even started a small weekly group at her community center where she and her friends discussed senior health topics: nutrition, exercise, mental well-being, and the often overlooked skin changes that come with age. Among her friends, the word itch took on new significance. What had once been an innocent itch was now a metaphor for the way seniors must pay attention to the subtle, often silent signals of their bodies. Mrs. Thompson's story spread through her circle, inspiring others to book skin checks and to speak openly about symptoms they once felt too trivial to mention. At 65, she had felt invincible, believing that serious illness was a distant threat. Yet the experience taught her that vigilance and early action were the truest forms of self-respect. She understood now that aging brought wisdom and insight, and part of that wisdom was the humility to acknowledge one's vulnerability. Instead of fearing the signs of change, she embraced them as opportunities to learn more about her health and to take control. Dr. Patel continued to be a guiding presence in her journey. In subsequent visits, they discussed broader health strategies: balanced nutrition rich in antioxidants, gentle strength exercises to maintain mobility, and the importance of mental health practices like meditation and social connection. Each conversation wove medical expertise with personal encouragement, reinforcing Mrs. Thompson's determination to live fully and independently. As the seasons changed and autumn leaves drifted to the ground, Mrs. Thompson found herself walking in the park each morning, feeling the crisp air on her healed neck. She smiled at the world with renewed curiosity, grateful for the tiny itch that had prompted her to pay attention. It was a reminder that our bodies, in their quiet persistence, speak to us when we learn to listen. Her story, shared in the soft cadence of her voice, became a gentle call to action for all seniors. A single tiny itch might herald something serious, but with awareness, knowledge, and early intervention, that itch can be the very thing that saves a life. The lesson was clear. Never ignore a persistent itch, especially in the cherished years beyond 60. Instead, honor it as a crucial signal. Seek expert advice and take charge of your well-being. In doing so, seniors everywhere can transform a moment of discomfort into a story of strength, wisdom, and positive change.